let me ask you something. Do you believe that diet is the biggest factor when it comes to reaching your fitness goals? Yeah? Good. Me too. Let me ask you another question. Why are you messing up on it? Seriously, in today's video, we're gonna cover 3 of the biggest diet mistakes that I've seen people make, and I'm talking hundreds of people that I've worked with, coached, been around, all that stuff, alright? So let's cover these 3 and help you get to your goals. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, John Mango. I'm here representing Beyond the Iron, where I'm looking to take your fitness and your nutrition further so you may change your life forever if you follow the damn advice. If this is your first time stopping by in the channel, I'd like to say welcome. I like to drop fitness, tips, tricks, strategies, nutrition, meal plans, everything in between. That way you can get to your fitness goals faster and more enjoyably. So if that's something that you're interested in, which you should be, in my opinion, then consider subscribing. So, talking about today's topic, these 3 biggest diet mistakes are ones that I kind of compiled, put together, and really rated as my top biggest diet mistakes. And I got this information over 7+ years of being in this industry as a coach, online coach, personal trainer, working at gyms, friends and family since high school, all that good stuff. I've worked with at least 400 people when it comes to their fitness and dieting. So that being said, these are the 3 very general but also very important things that if you master when it comes to your nutrition, you will literally not only see insane amounts of progress when it comes to fitness and body composition improvement, but you'll be able to take your fitness, your life, and your nutrition that much further, which is of course my goal if you were paying attention in the beginning. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the 3rd biggest diet mistake, work up to number 2, and the top ultimate diet mistake of all time at the end. Why? Because I want to keep you holding on so I can increase the watch time, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Alright, this one is restricting foods and or cutting carbs, okay? This has to be one of the most widespread mistakes of all time, and that is because, understandably so, a lot of people just don't really understand the fundamentals of nutrition, physiology, and how they work together. That's totally fine. I'm not saying I expect you to take a course and learn, decades of information on this stuff like I have, but that is also the reason I'm here, to let you know that there's a reason why crash diets don't work, because they're based off of restricting foods and restricting carbs. So maybe it's only number 3 and maybe you're freaking out because that's something that you always do or are currently doing. Now don't freak out, okay, because there's a lot worse to come. Seriously, don't freak out. I'm gonna go ahead and give you some insight as to what you can do instead of restricting your foods, because it actually is not necessary. In fact, it is more beneficial not to restrict any foods, but instead focus on these next few tips I'm gonna give you to make sure you get the most out of your nutrition. When it comes to restricting foods, instead of the quality, in this case the food selection, focus more so on quantity first. Now I know a lot of people would say, well, what, quality always over quantity? But in this case you want to start with quantity because it's much more applicable, it's much more practical to take everything you currently eat and simply slash some portions down of each of those foods. So maybe you have McDonald's every day. Of course I had to use a McDonald's example. You have McDonald's every day and you have a large meal, whatever. What you can do to make this a much more seamless process and ultimately more effective in the long term is just go with the medium next time. A medium McDonald's meal. I'm not recommending, before people freak out and say this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm not recommending that you eat McDonald's. What I'm recommending is a more tactical, more practical approach to you getting to your goals in the long term, because obviously eventually you do want to phase that out. But the biggest mistake here is just restricting these foods that you love right off the bat and in an extreme way. So ultimately the method I just gave you, and again there's a lot of people that don't eat junk or fast foods, and the same thing applies to any food. There's a lot of people that go ahead and explain to me their diets and they seem to be the healthiest diets in the world. Like, how are you not fitter than me? How am I going to coach you if your nutrition is 10 times better than mine? Obviously it's not the case, and their portion size, their quantity is too big. Even though their quality is there, if the quantity quantity is too much, it's still gonna lead to an unfavorable body composition, and that is obviously what we're not looking to get. That is not what you wanna do. So focus on quantity first. It's also more sustainable in the long term due to adherence and mental, people would say sanity, mental benefits of actually being able to enjoy the foods you love. And the next few diet mistakes that I'm going to mention is actually gonna help you understand why and how this will be able to tie into you eating the foods you love and still seeing the results you want, okay? It's not complicated. What I'm explaining to you is very simple, but definitely whatever you do not go for straight for the heart and boom, just cut out the carbs and begin to demonize carbs and certain foods, because that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. As a matter of fact, with all the clients and people I've worked with, it has typically been the opposite of restricting these foods that has led to them making progress in the long term. Alright, the second biggest dieting mistake that you are probably making. Now, the third one, a lot of people may not be making this mistake, but now the second one, I'm convinced that 98% of everybody watching this video is committing this mistake, and that is not tracking your calorie intake. Now, I know people are like, oh, I don't have to track my calories. I'm not sure where this notion came from, but not only should you track your calories, but if you had the option, go from point A to point B, your desired result, your dream body, in half the time, which one would you choose? Would you choose to work harder and get there in half the time, or work a little bit less and get there double the time, or never get there? So when I lay it out like that, you're probably like, well, obviously I'm gonna take the faster route. But if you're not tracking your calories, you're actually flying past the faster route and you're missing out completely. Now the reason is because you cannot guess and progress. Can't try to save money without knowing your expenses, your income, what you spend on your investments, all that stuff. So the same concept applies to nutrition. You need to track your calorie intake so you have an idea of what your body responds to what you're eating, how it responds to what you're eating. Very important, because then you'll know, oh, it looks like I've been eating roughly 1,500 to 1,700 calories a day, and I'm not losing weight. Let me try to bump that number down a little bit. And it's so easy to do in this day and age. I have a couple videos. Go ahead and click this one right here. That is my #1 video in terms of teaching you how to track in the most efficient and effective way possible to literally make this 5 minutes of your day. That's how long it takes to learn the app and how long it takes to implement in your lifestyle. So begin doing that. You're gonna open up your entire world to realizing that, oh my God, that handful of almonds I was eating, I thought that was like 2 calories. I thought that was non-existent calories for most of you. Turns out it's like 4,000 calories, bro. Shit, okay, that makes sense. Trust me, that's gonna be you. It is every single time with thousands of people that I've told this to or worked with. Track your calories. And by the way, that ties into the first one I told you, where you don't have to restrict foods. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't. Well, if you track your calories, you can actually fit the foods you love into those calories and macros every now and then. Just like that, you're making progress towards the goal you have for fitness, body composition. You're feeling better, you're looking better, you're performing better, and you're still enjoying the foods you love. Everybody else is gonna be missing out. Everybody else is gonna ask you, what the hell are you doing? And you're gonna lead them to this video, or you're just gonna explain it. Up to you. The biggest mistake that people make when it comes to dieting and nutrition is the following. You're not meal prepping, all right? You're just not meal prepping. That's it, that's right. You thought, what? This guy's gonna hold me over this many minutes to drop that on me that I'm not meal prepping? That is such BS. Listen up, meal prepping. Again, hundreds of people, been in this industry for how long? Meal prepping is necessary to a degree, okay? Now, of course, you can go from where you're at today to making some progress, 100%. You can restrict your foods, you don't have to track calories, and you don't have to meal prep. Guess what? You're gonna make some results. This is how many results you're gonna make when you're looking for this many, okay? You're looking for that many, you're gonna make that much, and guess what? You're actually gonna make negative results, because you're gonna get that much. You're not gonna be motivated once you stop seeing the results after continuously doing the same thing, which is next to nothing, and it's gonna come back, and then people gain more weight, okay? So why meal prepping is the #1 biggest and most important mistake that people make is because it not only will enhance and facilitate the last two things that I explained to you, but it could actually overtake it entirely. Let me explain. You don't have to actually track your calories. Let me explain. You can actually make so much more progress simply by meal prepping every single week. Not only that, meal prepping is an extremely time efficient habit because you spend 1 to 2 hours for an entire week's worth of meals, let's say even 3 hours. Not only are you saving time throughout the week when you're either deciding what to eat or preparing what to eat on a daily basis, you're also saving money. You're structuring your nutrition just like that. You have a structure. You're going to lower significantly the chances of you deviating from your nutrition, and you're just going to be that much less stressed, okay? People would argue that stress is one of those things that spills over into other aspects of your life, and oh, you know, I was gonna work out, I was gonna eat well, but I got stressed. Listen, this is what you're missing. You need to start meal prepping. It's gonna add structure to your diet. It's gonna facilitate tracking because you're doing the same things, you're eating the same things roughly every day or every week, and you don't have to restrict your foods because you can plan to have certain foods that you love in that meal prep. You could leave a little gap and say, perfect, I have all my meals prepped. This is gonna allow me to have one of those muffins that I love and still move towards my goals. Still feel better because you're eating a wide range of foods that you chose, that you planned out for, and that you selected, and you know, more veggies, more water. You're gonna be timing your, everything starts coming around once you begin to meal prep. So, if you want to do yourself the biggest favor, and please do me the biggest favor of just meal prepping starting this week, starting today, tomorrow, Sunday, whenever you can. All you need is 1 to 2 hours. It's going to come down closer to 1 the more you do it, the more practice you get. That is going to go the furthest when it comes to beginning your journey in creating the right habits to eventually master your entire nutrition and your entire lifestyle, which will of course in turn help you get those gains that you've been wanting all this time. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know a couple of those may seem more like habits mindset, but in reality that is the biggest things when it pertains to nutrition that you need to be doing that most people don't. Every time people come to me, at some point it's going to lead to, are you tracking your calories? Are you cutting out your foods? Are you meal prepping? You can't get to the next level, you can't get to the level you want to get to without those 3 things. So stop making these mistakes, and I guarantee you the progress you're gonna make is going to be substantial. It's going to surprise you. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're still watching until now, I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for the support. Go ahead and leave a comment for any topics you'd like to see. Let me know what you think of these mistakes. Let me know of any other mistakes you've made in the past. I'd love to talk to you about them. I'd love to know what you're going through so I can help you out. Any topics that you'd like to see on the channel, I'd be happy to make those for you. If they get requested enough, go ahead and leave them below and I'll be sure to do that ASAP for you. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Subscribe for more fitness content coming every single week on this channel. And as always, like I said, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in that next video. I'm out.